And it looks like we're hopping in now.
Oh, we're hopping in.
Jumping in quick here.
We're jumping in quick.
Looks like the Sloths are currently 1-0 up.
Yeah. And Kings found some timing here. Isn't able to find that. Seattle Sloths, close that round out right there. We're not gonna talk like we know what happened because we weren't able to see much. But hey, they go up 2-0 in the S&D. Hey, they're coming out real strong, and honestly, they're looking like they got something to prove, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming in here 1-0. They're looking to make a statement and show they are the better of the two currently winless teams. And Dazed has to their momentum. We don't know how that map 1 went. We don't know how the momentum shift could have taken effect. All players are on the board for Dazed. You have to wonder if they can figure it out here and not let this get out of hand quickly and spiral down to being down 2-0.
Yeah, and that's huge because you go about you mentioned map 1 in a sense. Again, I want to talk about Dazed. That was the only map that they have won coming into tonight, and it's a huge deal breaker because you're like, hey, this map 1, that's ours for the taking. That's one that we can like really rely on and get us going. And obviously, since you haven't won that, you're off to a slow start. It's a big mental block heading into S&D, which again, you're a player yourself. Hey, it's all about mentality and search and destroy.
Yeah, exactly. You're 100% right. Confidence is very, very key. We're going to see Z3 here in a 1v2. He's going to have a chance. They're funneling into him. I think they heard him break that glass, sadly, and they're actually going to sniff him out. And Sloths are going to go up 3-0. And yeah, this can spiral very, very fast. I mean, Sloths are already 3 away from taking the second map. And the Dazed are probably reeling a little bit. As you mentioned, their one map win this year was that first map. So for them not to pick that up, they're probably a little worried, starting to overthink it a bit. And they just can't let the confidence get away from them, and they just got to lock in.
I mean, hey, you cannot live up to your own reputation, your own name. Do not get dazed by the redness of the blood that you are spilling. Look, it's just regain here, have a slow round. And another thing about S&D I love it when teams play slow. I love it when they think methodically. You can see the arrows adjust to the comms that are mazed. As now Kings trying to get aggressive in this P1 area, has that Jackal PDW. Slowly but surely, Wesley on the other side though, P5 creeping. And then this is where it kind of gets hard for this red team. You see, they're circled. The bomb is going to go down, which is huge. But do they know there's 2 players behind them? Houndful, sticking to his senses. Looks behind them. Could have a free one. Wesley with the first blood. Trades come through. And Atlanta Dazed still in this here. Disarray, able to find crazy timing, my friend. It's just like everybody hits a route. Stick with it. Go with it.
Wow, yeah, the Sloths there, that's insane. They collapsed on that site perfectly. They instantly were ready for the trades. I mean, I thought the Dazed actually had a really solid setup there, but one thing led to another with the gunshots. I mean, one red dot popped up and all red arrows collapsed on that one red dot instead of holding their angles and trusting their teammates there, sadly, and Sloths just took advantage of it. I mean, they still had 3 alive at the end of that round. They did have them surrounded on the site, but that setup by Dazed looked really good, but it collapsed. The Sloths just did their thing there, sadly.
Yeah, and it's again, you say, hey, trust your teammates. It's like once one guy goes down, it's almost like everybody just gave up their own angle to look for that one person that was calmed. And it's hard because obviously you want to think about that entry guy that has that first blood and can cause some chaos. But you got to think when you're not expecting anybody, when you haven't seen anybody come into your line of sight, you're like, hey, we got to play patiently and expect them to all collapse at once. As now Houndful trying to be that lone defender at B. It does a smart play by backing up, but it's Wesley again, drawing first blood in the feed. And obviously, he's taking these Sloths on a race car joyride because they are grooming into the lead of S&D. But Kinks responds with 2 of his own. And look at this. This is the best round from the side of Atlanta Dazed. All up to their #1 playmaker, Wesley, though.
Yeah, that was a massive play there in the courtyard. Wesley, though, as you mentioned, he's been on fire right now. I want to see if there's anybody have faith. The clutchest 1v2 it's him, but he does have the Jackal. He's going to try to avoid these long lines of sight. He's going to get caught by the guy truck. No, unfortunately, he's shut down. He can't clutch up there, but Dazed get on the board finally, and that has to feel good.
It's got to be a big confidence booster, especially since Wesley got that first blood. Big play by Kinks to get 2 in the garden, shrubs area, whatever you want to call it. He really flipped the script, and that's something where you're like, hey, we have a fighting chance now. If we stick close, we play our corners and wait for the other team to make mistakes, we can use that to our advantage. And right now, Dazed, they are heading into an offensive round, which we saw last time. They did get the bomb down. Their post-plant situation was a bit rocky.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they could go for another A bang out here, but the Sloths are ready for it. They send 2 guys DVD. Actually, they're just going to send it down B Street. They're going to play their trades. Guy here tucked in the corner of court. You have to think.
Wesley.
I know with Ninja you can still hear people. Wesley, though, is making the play. Gets the
Able to
bomb
find.
planter. Bomb is now down, unfortunately. And the guy on the other edge of the wall there did not jump up to trade him, but I think he got found out as well. And I mean, the Sloths light up the kill feed. Now 1v4 for Kinks. Make it
Kinks?
a wait, get a 1v2 here. And they find him out ultimately,
See,
and Sloths still that one.
Here's the thing about S&D. Since we've kind of been thrown into this, you know, it's like S&D. The next thing is trades. I think that's the next important thing. I don't know what my first comment. Oh, I want to back off what you said. You know, first bloods. You mentioned how important they are. Trades is the next thing that needs to be on your itinerary list. If you're like, hey, what needs to go right in S&D? Obviously, we saw Wesley draw the first blood on that bomb carrier. Somebody was, I think Kinks was at that little gray dumpster. He could have gotten it if he hopped over that wall.
Yeah, I'm interested to see there his POV. That would have been nice to see because like I don't know how he didn't see him even slide out on his guy at bomb, but yeah, at this point, Days are just trying to survive and not let this one go quickly. Fez makes the right play there not to chow out, but now he's going to try to pinch on this guy around the back. He actually gets him. Wow, in the dumpster. Wow, picks up Disarray. Kinks.
Oh, Kinks.
Big win as well on the Wesley.
Kinks not able to get away with his life, and gonna do what he does best and run away. No, I'm just kidding. He's a good play. He's making he's a good kid running some routes. Gonna try and make something happen. As again, he does have a jackal in his hand, so not in the best situation, especially since he's heading into the open side. He is gonna get towards this back though. Spots Houndful, plays his life. Oh, what you gonna do? Gonna run at you. Look at this. He finds great timing through the back and picks up an aim, which is huge. Unfortunately, one too many players to see.
Yeah, they find him out there. I mean, it's not over. It's not over. Days, they're trying to stick in it. They're trying to stick around. They don't want to give up just yet. Last thing you want to do is go down 2-0, going into protocol control. That map, I mean, that map will really beat you while you're down. It's a tough one.
It is. I think for both of these teams, protocol control would be the first time they've played back into the final round. Now the score is 5-2 round-wise. Sloths are winning, and honestly, if you're the Days team, you got to go picture perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what the Sloths do here. They're going to just take advantage of this lead. Days making a great play. Yeah, they're going to pop through hole. He's going to actually make the rest of the pinch around Laundry. They really got to worry about this guy behind them now. They're going to start overthinking this. Gunna just sitting out in Zig, taking his time with bomb.
Kinks
has a chance to make a big play here.
You sound whoring little piece of poop. I love it. Kinks makes the play, and obviously that's what you need, especially from the side of Atlanta Dazed. Hey, you get in some timing, make the other team sweat for it. Disarray now trying to find him, checks, backs away, but look, Kinks getting a bit more aggressive. Kinks on the prowl, chasing him from behind, but he's doing it carefully, and I love this. This is the smart, slow play I like to see in S&D. You crawl, you're kind of like a cobra. You make the other team stress, and that's when they make the mistakes.
Yeah, we'll see just how loud this door creek is going to be here. He's been in Zig the entirety of this round. He's going to try to get bomb down. He has Disarray with him nearby. Disarray, though, he has no idea this guy's outside of glass. And he's going to get picked up. Gunna goes down. Bomb doesn't even get planted. Disarray's in a very tough spot to try and clutch this up.
Yeah, and this is huge. Disarray lost him, but they're about to run right into each other as Disarray, came away with that gunfight. The information is known. With 8 seconds left, he bangs out the door. And then like, hey, Atlanta Dazed.
Yeah, they're back.
Kind of like the Lamar Jackson poop. He went into halftime saying, hey, hold on, bro. I'm hurt.
Yeah, 5-3. We know how scary 5-3s can be. I mean, I feel like that's an iconic scoreline in COD where teams, it's like the 5-3 curse, you know?
For sure.
That just happens to be our scoreline now, and Days maybe get some confidence.
Yeah, and especially on a defensive side where offensively haven't found much success. Again, the trades haven't been there when they've tried to push those bomb sites, and when they get first blooded, nobody is around to help each other to make the situation a little bit more bearable. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this. They're going to 3-stack this A site, and again, Fez, first one in, 1-1, has some great timing on the big playmaker Wesley, and he's automatically going to get this bomb down, but again, Gunna right there to respond. That's what I'm talking about when you have trades. Look at this, Kyber there to help his teammate, and now in a 3v2 situation, Dazed had the momentum, Disarray able to find a kill, all up to the hopes of I don't know who that is, but the Sloths close out map 2.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, that comes back to your trades right there. Whenever I think it was I can't remember who was by glass right there, but once he got picked up trying to get bombed down, that was his teammates were able to collapse and instantly help him out. I mean, and there was no trades able to come in for Days at all. No one was near him.
Be right outside this boat P4-ish area. It's very interesting because a lot of the times I don't want to say spawn traps, but when that attacking team gets control of your building, it's almost like done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Disarray, they're actually going to go for a 2-hit on the B here. There was someone in cave, though, for Days, and I'm not sure. I think he took a round, continued on through, but I mean, Days instantly get a solid almost. They pick up 2 actually onto the Sloths. The Sloths, though, strike back on the Hound, who was watching from top mid. Gonna chase him down. Oh, Z3. Wow, yeah. He seeks him out in the corner. That's actually 3 dead for the Sloths. They're going to have a chance to get some time and maybe a tick on the B.
Yeah, and honestly, this is more or less the harder point, I would say. When a team fully has a grasp on it, this is the one that, you know, that's really a struggle. And again, you can see teams, the Sloths, being a little bit more prepared coming into tonight. They want to hit the harder points a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive. They want to get it done and dusted, and they did get 1 tick. So this is huge from them because now the transition is in. You have players in the middle of the map. You still have Disarray at old, Gunna at A. It's just this is where you can cause some chaos. But as soon as I talk about this, Fez hopping down from this top building control, slaying out in the middle of the map, Atlanta Dazed can kind of feed off of this chaos, T.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to go back to the tick you talked about them getting on B, this map is one that definitely comes down to ticks a lot of times on who's going to get defense for that final round. And I mean, defense wins this map a ton because just how hard it is to cap B. Usually most teams will get the full cap on A and maybe get a tick or 2 on B. And like to get that tick out of the way on B first, now your team should probably just kind of focus A and focus on capping it. That way, if it does come down to a 2-2 round on protocol, you can guarantee yourself defense. Ideally, of course, but that'd be a picture-perfect round. And Kinks, wow, pushing the spawn here. He's looking to keep this spawn trap going. Sloths are struggling to get out of their base, but I mean, Kyber, though, he's in the top of their building looking to return the favor on some of the spawn trap here.
Yeah, and I was gonna point out Kyber. It was a little bit interesting. He was the only one that got able to leak out of his spawn, and I was like, hey, he looked like he was hitting B at first. I was like, I don't necessarily like this play because, you know, so far this Seattle team, they've kind of been playing hot potato between sites, and that has kind of allowed Atlanta to free up the middle of the map for their subs. But he did find a kill on top windows, hit a route, found some timing. But again, I think just these subs taking it to the Seattle Sloths right now. You look at I think it was Fez and Kinks. Those 2 are slaying out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think right there at the end, they still had 18 lives left. The Sloths 8. I know the round ended on time, of course, but still, I mean, the Sloths only had 8 lives left, so they were definitely getting outslayed. I feel like they were kind of just sprinting at hill a ton there and not really playing it together. It was come off spawn, sprint at hill, which they were getting the spawn trapped a bunch, as you mentioned, by Kinks and even Houndful, I believe, from the Days. But we'll see if the Sloths can bounce back and try to get them in the spawn trap themselves. We'll see if Wesley can get going. You never want to see that, of course, but this is a map that honestly it can flip on its head quickly on if you start doing well or not. And then when you're on attack, it is very, very hard. I mean, when you're on defend, you can kind of hold a heady, especially if you're fortunate enough to be an AR player and just beam people.
Yeah, and I think that's what's Gunna's gonna have to go huge this map. He's the one. Right now he is 2-6, starting off a bit slow. He did pick up 2 at the start of this round, but you speak of the ARs. I think he's the one that's gonna have to be the backbone of this Seattle team if they at least want to stay in this control map. Right now they're doing just fine. They find 3 dead in the feed, and they clear that tick. This is huge because, again, this is where the spawn trap comes in. You look at number 4, Gunna, unfortunately not able to find much, so Atlanta doing a great job of keeping their building / front side spawn nice and clear. They're gonna 4-stack this A site. This is how you want to do it. Get 3 or 4 dead, hop the point, get 2 ticks, and at least fend off the next wave.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see Z3 hop on a time here just to help us go a little bit quicker. It doesn't look like it matters anyway. Kinks with a massive 2-piece, make it 3 in the kill feed for Days. Wesley coming off spawn, trying to get 1 shot for the Jackal, and he's like, he's still gonna get almost gets 2. Wow, that was tough. They ran out of ammo. But yes, the Sloths are scrambling. They're looking to defend B. Days, they're doing their thing right now.
And this is where it becomes a struggle. You get that A point early, you get that extra minute of time. Now, as their lives have been almost cut to half, almost, the Seattle side, yes, but not Dazed, the struggle is, you know, kind of working this heady, working this site, because as you said, the ARs can just take up a position on P2, or, you know, they can find something in the middle of the map to just put their butt down and put their gunny on, put their gunny straight and say, hey, run into me, and you'll make my life a lot more easier.
Yeah, for sure. You'll see Wesley's trying to play around their building and keep that spawn trap going, the number 3 arrow there, and they're going to be looking for him. Number 8's coming off spawn of Houndful. He's going to be trying to pick him up. They've got comms that he's around there, but they're actually not going to find him. They're just going to let him play around. They killed the guy who was back tower of the Dazed. Fez was almost making a play, but the Sloths have got him in a blender right now. But number 8 is taking a route, Houndful. This is a big route. Right now, he'll currently keep them spawning closer to the tower, but if he can pick up two, they know they're missing him. You'll see the arrows start to look for him on the mini-map, but actually, no, he's going to get God timing right here, and he has help from top mid as well. They can pick up one more. You have to think they might want to stack this, but Gunna is one massive. Gunna goes huge, gets a big 2-piece. He's been alive down here in this cave forever, but he's going to get found. Oh, no, he's not. Kyber there to help him out, and they got this on lock right now.
Yeah, and you pointed it out. We saw Houndful take that route. I was going to say, hey, that's kind of the lifeline of this Dazed team. You know, you hit it, you break it, you're in free, and then that's where you can live and breathe. But obviously, we saw him. He got 1 kill. His teammates found a couple more. They just weren't able to get Gunna out of that P4 positioning. And honestly, that heady is the worst of all, because as well, in S&D, it's such a hard one to get off of. When you chow out both sides, you're at the disadvantage automatically.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't get good aim assist as well. I mean, I hate to depend on aim assist, but when you try to rip somebody off the heady, it's tough to do. But we got a 3v2 here and only 10 seconds left. They're going to have to start flying at this hill. Massive kill there.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Yeah, 7 seconds left. Gunna trying to work this boat area. Not able to find a kill. It's up to Wesley. Shoots one, picks up the other. Wesley with a big 2-piece.
That is ginormous. And don't let the scoreboard fool you, folks. He did his thing that round. I think the scoreboard is still a little bugged, of course. Yeah, he made a ginormous play in the 1v2. He saved that round for his team.
Hey, you want to talk about saving? Gunna also made a big one to at least keep this Dazed team off of this B point when they were circling it like sharks. This 2-piece in particular was the one that stopped them when they were at like a tick and a half, almost 2. And that's when I think they were still ahead in the life count by a couple. So, you know, again, that's just a big, you know, I think Gunna is the player, especially when we talk about man ARs. He's the one that can shut teams down when he gets into positions like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was massive. I mean, that's one of the best things to do when all that's left to cap is B, is just play cave. I mean, no one can get you down here. Like, you literally only have to watch 2 ways majority of the time. If they come big door, they're probably getting found out. But you'll see Kyber looking to get some very advantageable lines of sight. Kinks looking to find the Sloths all time. Takes out the trophy first, but Disarray cleans them up. And they're almost at a tick here on A. Some long shot. Oh, wow, that's a great gunfight out of Houndful to pick out Disarray, but it doesn't matter. I mean, his backup's there. Here comes Gunna now. Looking to chow top mid. He gets shut down. Good shots out of Houndful.
A little bit of a nasty slide tap, slide stop, whatever you want to call it. You know, he getting a little bit grimy, pulling into his bag like Kyrie. But hey, look at this. You know, A point done. Oh, A point not done. They're at 2 ticks now. They've worked it slowly. Disarray has sat here for the most of the time. The chow is in. Disarray goes huge with a 2-piece. Whoever that player is ran right by him. Z3 though, able to respond with a couple of his own. It's not going to matter though. The Sloths take this A site, and now, again, this is the same situation Dazed was in. They were up about 5 or 4 lives as they started to work this B side. Unfortunately, they just got shut down, and later in the round, the Sloths do have more time than the Dazed than Atlanta did. So we'll see how this blue team tries to work this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Keeks was in a really good spot there, but they literally played strictly for him to get them out of the building. But they don't want that at all. I mean, they have another player underneath him. Wow, Disarray gets shut down by Kinks from the A point there. Z3 on a time. He gets shut down as well by Gunna. It's just a trade fest right now. Very, very mixy. Guys are kind of challenge B solo right now. And it's just people are trading off of spawn. But Dazed are going to get a little bit of map control, and they kind of have Slothspin back in their spawn until I think it was Houndful who got shut down on the A point, and that kind of frees up that side of the map. We'll see how the Sloths want to play this. But the number 6, the Fez, just chilling in here, waiting on someone to make a mistake. But no one's hitting through bottom building. He's got to be coming that full team. Yeah, great route here. Maybe.
Oh my God,
That was
Fez,
a
you're
scary one.
scaring me. Jesus Christ, he may have had too much fentanyl in his brain right there. But hey, look at this. He still found that kill. And again, this is where the subs can get a little bit grimy. They can get a little bit chaotic and cause it for that team at the range. Able to find one Kyber though, and I don't know. I wasn't necessarily looking at the mini map in particular, but Atlanta they just somehow lost their map presence. You talked about it before, like a minute ago in this round. Atlanta had prime positioning. Fez, if he just stayed there in P3, could have really done something on spawns control. So it's huge because now Seattle, they still haven't touched his B point, but they were able to break out of that spawn trap.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at the time here. 20 seconds of counting down. The Dazed are just trying to play their life, not give up any freebies, and that's exactly what Z3's doing. He's literally playing only where people can see him. Big fight right here, and Kyber's gonna get shut down. That pretty much guarantees this round for Dazed.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice 4 dead. And I like how they played that, They were down in the life count. It was 10-8. And it was interesting because, for teams like Seattle, it's breaching the time limit to where you're like, hey, we gotta go. We gotta at least touch the time or stop it. And I like how Dazed did that because, again, they were down in the life count. They were like, hey, let's just post up. Let's wait for them to run into us. And then that's where we can find a nice 3-4 dead. And they do just that as they just lie in wait. And it was a big deal breaker because, again, 6 seconds left after they found that nice 4 dead and not enough time to get to this B point.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I would like to see here for the Sloths is their SMGs play a bit more like an SMG. I notice a lot of times their SMGs are the ones getting into the power positions when it comes to these top windows. But I mean, you can only do so much with the Jackal cross map. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
honestly,
if you're shots, you can hit those cross maps, of course, and you'll end up on Twitter with a clip or something. But sadly, that's very, very tough to do with the Jackal. And so you have to wonder. 3 ARs can be very viable on this map. It's great to still have that sub presence who can play around cave in these buildings, but it'll be interesting to see how they change up the style.
Yeah, and honestly, right now as we hop into it, they're up 2-1 in this map 3. They may start waking up here. T, they said, hey, let's get some pep in our step. Let's drink some juice, as Michael Jordan did in Space Jam. But right now, it's still a little bit not necessarily of a chaotic one, but they have a 2-1 split here. They've got most members at A. I like this distraction from the side of Kinks, just drawing as many people towards this B site as possible, allowing your team to get a free cap at A.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Sloths are just saying, screw it, let's set up and let's cut them off mid-map. I mean, you see a wall of, like, teal arrows, but number 4 is going to slide behind them that was 48, forgive me, of Kinks, and he's looking to make a play here. He actually does find disarray in front of their building, so that's going to be huge to open up this front of the map again. Houndful as well in a great spot on board here with him, who's having a fantastic map right now. He's 24-20. He's looking to try and spawn trap them off of their spawn, but he's actually going to get found out. It's a big kill by Kyber. They don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, and that teal wall may have been broken as some trades come through, but Disarray, being the glue to the team, sealing it back up, says, hey, I don't want no waterfalls, I don't want no floods in my area. And now it's Wesley's turn heating up as he's in this cave area, finding kills. But still, Atlanta Dazed still have some presence here. They're still in the front lines. As they find a 3 dead, this could be a huge one. They are spawning a little bit closer, more towards the A side. They do have to deal with Seattle, who is right here in this P2 area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was a little unfortunate there, but I mean, never mind. I was about to complain, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they got 3 dead again. Kyber's going to have to make a ginormous play here. See if he can find one. He does find one. Doesn't matter. Wait, I didn't look like the point was filling up for me, but whatever. They capped it. I didn't look full, but Dazed take this one 3-1. That's massive confidence boost, and that'll get our series back to 2-1 as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. This is what you want to see from 2 teams that are hungry for their first win. And hey, maybe if you looking back at Seattle Sloths record, a lot of their matches have been 0-3 losses. In us here tonight, but hey, map 4, do or die for the side of Atlanta Dazed, I may say. Jeez, I'm getting a little bit dazed myself. But T, how are we feeling about map 4?
I'm excited to see who rotates early and often. I'm gonna change him up here, putting up a sub. It's Mixie on P1. He finally gets found out as they play Ring Around the Rosie there. But yeah, I'm going to see who rotates early and often. Rotation is going to be very, very key on this map because when you start spawning out, you have to run extremely far, and it gets very annoying very quickly. So you can get these early rotations and good setups will be obviously key, just like it is in most hard points, of course. But I feel like this map more than others.
Yeah, and the key about rotating as well is I think it ties into spawns and whatever team is more or less knowledgeable about those spawns. You know, sometimes it can get a little bit chaotic. If you think about Skyline, that map in a sense is, you know, that's just like, hey, throw all spawn logic out the brain and just hope you can just gun them down. Protocol's a little bit more standard. You know, you hit a flank, predict them to be there, and I say it ties into rotating is because when you hit those flanks, you can be like, hey, they're now spawning out on the old hill. We know that we can kind of position and play for those kills and keep them spawning back in that area. But, you know, as we head into the second hill, Seattle Sloths, you know, not really worried about that third map. They're like, hey, we're getting that out of our brain, and hardpoint seems to be the better mode for them right now.
Yeah, I mean, they got a nice lead here. On those days, are going to look to try to get the second half of this hill, but the Sloths are still spawning extremely close, so they're going to want the rest of this scrap. Days do have one person still hitting it. You'll see they have the arrow of Houndful, number 3. He's early rotated. Number 2 as well of Kinks. And there's a big fight mid-map here. Fez looking to find out Wesley as he does shut him down. Sorry, that was Gunner. Forgive me the names.
Yeah, look at number 8. Look at number 8, though. He's hitting a flank of the Days. Kinks reads it, though. Hey. Huge play out of Kinks. You talked about rotating. That's another thing, picking up players when they haven't been calmed. Me and you have kind of seen it this round, you know, especially in the S&D side of things. If they're like, hey, if we haven't felt anything, if we haven't seen much, that you see a lot of arrows turn. They're like, hey, they gotta be hitting something. They gotta be in our spawns. And obviously Kinks does a great job of locking it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Wesley with a big trade there, and you see Sloths, they push to the back, they're going to guarantee spawns, and they flip these out. But the number 2 and number 3 arrows are looking around to hit that zip side. Number 2 probably is top zip of Kinks, and he is trying to attack it from the front. But as they pick up a big 2, make it 3 in the feed for Sloths, and they're going to look to get the second half of this hill as well. And this is this could get really scary for Days going down this cave. If they don't win this rotation, Sloths could potentially get a full 60 on the next.
Yeah, no, yeah, but you know, score-wise, if they lost it, they obviously didn't. As Fez picks up a nice couple kills at the tail end of P3, keeping it still a little bit more manageable. This is where a lot of teams I think find a struggle. You know, they find themselves down early, 40 points or so, and this is the threshold mentality-wise of where if you're that team that's down, it's like, hey, we're doing our best. We're still keeping it in the map. We're still in there. But it's hard because you need a full 60. You need a clean break to at least get some momentum and some juice flowing in your system. As right now, we're heading into that first money hill that you pointed out. Fez trying to break it with this team's able to find a couple. The collapses in from Dazed, and chaos is about to ensue.
Yeah, absolutely. Fez, he was the key to this break here. It's not fully over yet. Wesley with a big 2. He gets found out. It's going to be really mixy here. Both teams are going to just be sprinting a hill for the second half of this scrap. We'll see who wants to just bow out and just set up for P2. And Sloths currently do have those P2 spawns. You can see it don't look like they're going to attempt to hit this anymore. And they're just going to set up for P1. Actually, I guess... Who's out? Hybrid? I know it's Weston. Sorry, I think we still have a bug kill feed, and it throws me off sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, we're going into P1 regardless with roughly almost a 50-point lead for the Sloths into our second set of rotations.
And I want to point out again, Atlanta not necessarily getting a solid hold until 20 seconds of that fourth hill, which is huge because again, when you have clean time, that's when you can like kind of assess situations. We're like, hey, where are we on the map? We can rotate. We're spawning here, and again, it's just Seattle. They just keep the pressure turned up. They're at the hills first. They're there. They have the presence, and when they are broken, they are still applying max pressure because of those close spawns or whoever was first off the spawn.
Yeah, absolutely, and you'll see they're dominating presence in hardpoint right now is very, very noticeable. I mean, the Dazed have made it a lot more respectable here. They brought it back a lot.